Mates, how are you all doing? It's Wednesday morning. It's a beautiful day. Um, all of our children here in Coast Salish territory are all back in school today and yesterday. And as a mom, that's really exciting. Definitely tiring getting used to the mornings, but I know everybody can do it. I have a couple of things that I'm thinking about, but I guess, I'm dealing with a lot of historical history stuff around the HIV and AIDS movement, particularly in Canada with Aboriginal people. As many of you know, I've been involved since 1990. So I think that I've really noticed it become a industry, an opportunity to capitalize sometimes, depending in which area you're working in. Obviously, the need has grown larger. Right now in Canada, we have a lot of our Aboriginal people who are historically diagnosed later, historically don't have access to confidential anonymous testing that's safe, and historically have been stigmatized in the healthcare system. And once you're stigmatized or black labeled in the healthcare system, it follows you, because whatever's written in that document about you is the story that follows you, unless you have a doctor who's willing to get to know you and build a relationship, which is the most important thing. You need a doctor that you can talk to about anything, ideally. And I see this in the movies all the time. I'll see a doctor who's like, I'm your patient, and, you're my patient, and we have doctor-patient confidentiality, and, I'll take care of you. And I don't hear that happening as much anymore. If anything, what I've seen is the opposite, especially if you're HIV positive. If you have a bloodborne pathogen, whether it's HIV mostly, Hep C also has the same results. But with HIV, since before 92, women historically were speaking up about this, because it's an unwritten policy, somehow, that when you go into a doctor's office, they feel somehow privileged to ask you how you got HIV. And without realizing the harm that that question can imply to a person who has had HIV for a long time to a person who's newly diagnosed. Everybody deals with their HIV status differently. And for anybody, I mean anybody, to ask, how did you get HIV, is a very insensitive, stigmatizing, and very inhumane question to ask. That would be like asking somebody who got cancer or diabetes or MS how they got it. It doesn't matter. It shouldn't matter about the quality of care that you get, that you have HIV. If anything, it should improve your quality of care, because as a vulnerable person, your immune system is compromised, which means you're actually more vulnerable to healthy people's germs. So, our family members need to learn what it's like to live with somebody with HIV, and that means washing your hands a lot, because somebody who has a compromised immune system doesn't recover from germs like colds and flus, influenza, as quickly as somebody who's healthy. It actually, for somebody, if their immune system is really compromised, I've seen flus kill people. And that's really sad, actually, because it brings us back to a time of early epidemics, and where our people, indigenous people, were historically not immune to these. So the Spanish flu, smallpox, all kinds of them. So our people died en masse, like just at one after the other. And this is what I've seen with the HIV movement. I've lost a lot of my friends, and just because I'm alive doesn't mean I'm living. I do a lot of grieving, actually. But through that, I've also found that I need to have a passion for my work. I need to give back, and that's what I'm trying to do. For one of the first times in a long time, I'm in a good place. I'm healthy. And I feel like I'm in a secure home with a landlord that cares about my family and me, and not just the money. And that's it. That's my life. So, for those who want to know about living with HIV, I do workshops, by the way. If people are willing to share with you about how they got HIV, then listen and don't share that information. You don't share another person's HIV status unless they've given you permission. It's illegal to do that. And the reason why I'm saying this is because a lot of our HIV positive newbies don't know that they can go to jail and become a registered sex offender if they don't disclose their HIV. Or if their HIV is not disclosed to them, they can charge somebody. That's the way it is now. And man, that's really scary. That's like Gestapo shit that I never thought I'd see happen in a million years. So they have figured out a way to keep us monitored. They started with reportability. Then they've started with the Seek and Treat program so that they could test people en masse. But there's no money going back into services. So we're not getting the care, treatment, and support that we need either on the ground. So yeah, there's a lot of shit going on that, is a little more important sometimes to me than some things. So I'll just leave that with you for today, and I hope you take it in a good way, because it's meant to be shared in a good way. I love you guys. Take it easy.